Good morning, my name is Charlotte. Welcome to Wake Up Well this morning. This month at the Well, we've been thinking about God's words at the very end of the Bible, where God says, I will make all things new. And maybe you thought that at the relative beginning of this year, January 2021, you'd be a bit more positive about the new things that you can see around you, the new things you can look forward to. But I don't know about you, but as we find ourselves here in lockdown 3.0, it can be hard to see the new things that God is doing. And it can be hard to hope for the new things that God will do. Because I find myself in these same four walls, walking the same streets outside my house, and being here with the same people. It all feels just a little bit too familiar after last year. But making all things new is exactly what God has promised us. And this is what he says in the Old Testament in Isaiah 65. It's quite a long passage for today, but listen because it's really, really good stuff. From verse 17 of Isaiah 65 through to the end of the chapter. Look, I am creating new heavens and a new earth, and no one will even think about the old ones anymore. Be glad. Rejoice forever in my creation. And look, I will create Jerusalem as a place of happiness. Her people will be a source of joy. I will rejoice over Jerusalem and delight in my people, and the sound of weeping and crying will be heard in it no more. No longer will babies die when only a few days old. No longer will adults die before they have lived a full life. No longer will people be considered old at 100. Only the cursed will die that young. In those days, people will live in the houses they build and eat the fruit of their own vineyards. Unlike the past, invaders will not take their houses and confiscate their vineyards. For my people will live as long as trees, and my chosen ones will have time to enjoy their hard-won gains. They will not work in vain, and their children will not be deemed to misfortune. For they are people blessed by the Lord, and their children too will be blessed. I will answer them before they even call to me. While they are still talking about their needs, I will go ahead and answer their prayers. The wolf and the lamb will feed together. The lion will eat hay like a cow, but the snakes will eat dust. In those days, no one will be hurt or destroyed on my holy mountain. I, the Lord, have spoken. God promises us in his Bible that he will make all things new, from creation to humanity. And that passage is just a beautiful picture of what we can expect and what we can look forward to. And even though that is in the future, we can celebrate that in the now. Even today, God is making all things new. That is what God's business is. And as I look around, when I go out for my walks, I look around and it's winter, but still I can see, when I perhaps look a little bit closely, I can still see signs of the new things that God is doing. God gives us signs even in winter to remind us that he is doing a new thing. He makes all things new. In my garden, my front garden, I have just noticed bulbs beginning to spring out of the ground, signs of new life and what is to come in spring. I have friends who've told me about their exciting news of expecting a baby, new life once again. And in my role at the Well, I get the privilege of speaking to people who are new to the church and wanting to connect with us. And that has continues to happen during lockdown, during winter. New things, new life, new people. God gives us signs, even in winter. I love a song by KXC, a church in London, called All Things New. And in the chorus it says, in the middle of the darkness, the light of the world has come. You will make all things new. You will finish what you've started. And so we can be confident, even in winter, even in lockdown 3.0, that God has promised that he will make all things new, The stuff we read about in Isaiah 65 is the newness that is to come, but we can celebrate that even now. And so I would encourage you, listen to that song, All Things New by KXC. Think about the hope that God brings to us now, whatever we're in the midst of. We can celebrate now and look forward to the new things. And look around for the signs that God gives you of the new thing that He is doing, even in winter.